the game has changed. What worked in the past completely is not working now, especially in the last 6 months or so. You're realizing your cash flow is going up and down. It's not consistent. You've got lumpy cash flow. The marketing is not landing the way you wanted it to as well. Your team's not engaged as it used to be. All right. Well, what I did is I took you through in previous videos is exactly why that's happening. What we know is there are external forces that are happening. There's this massive tsunami that's coming. There are cycles that are occurring, and we went through these external forces, not only what they are, but there's a natural cycle. Where are we in the cycle? Making sure you're doing the right thing at the right time. Then we talked about internal forces. The internal forces we've gone through, and the previous video I went through these 6 keys, what they are. Now what we're going through is going, so what? So that what are you doing this for? It's like, well, so that's what we're going through. And I went through these first 2. And it starts off chronologically and you work your way down, albeit this last one needs to happen straight away as well. What I want to do is in the last video, I went through these 2. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the next 2 here. Okay. So when we're looking around thinking bigger, what does this actually mean? Like, what are we talking about when we're thinking bigger? Okay. When you're thinking much bigger, just think about in your business right now or the organization you work in. And just imagine, I said to you, let's increase the profit on the business by 10%. What are the different ways that you can add more profit? Percentage-wise or dollar-wise, either way, it's fine. How could you do that? And I can sit down, I've done this with heaps and heaps of people many, many times before. What can you do? Okay, well, we can lift our prices. We can have our marketing do a little bit better. We could get better acquisition costs. We could look at our conversion optimization from the top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel from a conversion, not marketing, but conversion perspective. A little tweak in each of those can make a difference. How can we look at our product? We can add more value. So we can, would you like fries that can add more on that? Or do we actually look at it and go, well, let's offer the same thing, but we can compress for quality. So it takes us less effort to do it. So we're getting efficiencies into place. There's so many different things you could do. We could write a list. In fact, there are lots of lists we actually write. There's lists, there's about 250 different things you can do that. Now, here's the next question to you. Okay, if I said to you, let's lift it by 10%, what would you do? Heaps. I go, all right, what if we lift it by 100%? And you go, oh, well, those little tweaks we talked about before, they'll make a bit of a difference, but it's not going to be enough. Now, here's the real question, which says much bigger, 1,000x, literally. So if you're making $100,000, we 1,000x it, that's now $10 million. Okay? How do you do that? Well, when you do that, there's not 250 ways to do that. There will only be, in your business right now, there will only be a couple of ways to do that. 2, 3, or 4 ways. You go, all right, I want to 1,000x. I want to go from 100,000, I want to go to $10 million. Okay, I want to increase it by a heap more. Okay, to do that, and whatever the number is, it's irrelevant. What my point of the message is, you're going to go through a much bigger amount, a much higher amount, and let's say in a much shorter period of time. To do that, there's only going to be a few ways to do that. You're going to go, oh, I can't do those things, because if they're going to take me time to do that, for me to get that result in such a short period of time, well, I'm going to need to do this. I'll need to have a technology play. I'll need to hire an amazing gun. I'll need to merge or acquire with another business. I need to change my product because my product is so time dependent right now. I'm never going to be able to do, from 100,000 to $1 million to, going up to $10 million. That is one of the most important principles that most people miss, that actually simplification, simple scales. And what most people need to do, a good friend of mine, George Bright, says this, is most people need to take some scissors to be able to scale their business. They need to cut some things out to make sure they only focus on the things that will make the biggest difference, especially if you're a service professional and you're the founder, because I know you'll fall in love with your product. You fall in love with it, and that's okay. But this here then leads us into the next part here, is whatever you started your business with, how do you make sure you've got the right product to market fit? Why is that important? Well, the truth is that with the speed of change, and particularly with technology, and let's say specifically with AI, Peter Diamandis says this, in the future, there's going to be 2 types of businesses. There are the businesses that will have adopted AI and are scaling and growing and hitting record highs. And the second group of businesses, the businesses who are not in business. What we need to do is we need to make sure that whatever you are or whatever you service in the marketplace, whatever your product is how are you innovating? And the question is, well, how do you do that? How do you know what the things are that you're going to innovate on? Well, the best way to do that is to solve your clients' problems. And you go, oh, what are you talking about? The only reason any business exists on the planet is to solve people's problems. The question is, what is the problem that your ideal client has now, and what is the potential problem that they have in the future? So we look at our current offering and then we go, cool, let's start to make the product innovation that we can close the gap from where we are now to where we are in the future. This is one of Elon Musk's greatest strategies. He sees where things are going and goes, what I'm going to intersect that by I'm going to look in the future and go, I'm going to build the thing that is out there. Now, for us in Australia, I know a lot of people all around the world will be watching this, but in Australia, we have an award called the Telstra Best of Businesses Award. We won that award last year. And when we won that award, we won it in the category around adoption of innovation and how well that can be brought into, and for us servicing all our members and helping them to do the same thing for their clients. So if you're going to go, I really want to double down on this one here, then reach out to us. We'll have an initial call with you. We'll go through, we'll do a lot of homework, we'll do a preparation, we'll look at your business, there'll be some questions for you to answer. And what we'll do is we'll make sure we're really clear on your goals, where you're going, what your roadblock is, and also what your next steps are. That's how you can put those things into place. Like I said, it cascades from the top. We go through, okay, great, free your time up, lead your leaders, thinking much bigger now, because you're now, by the way, the first point is most people are so like in the weeds. They're just like, oh man, I'm cooked. How do I even do the critical thinking to be able to do that? How do I have the time to do that? Well, free up the time, you'll see massive opportunities. Get your team in the flow, you get in the flow, give yourself fewer things to focus on, and then that is going to ensure that not only does your business work today, it's also going to be working for the future. So you are future-proofing your business. All right, so these are the points. Here's what I want to do. In the next video, I'm going to go through these last two, super critical for making the whole thing work. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.